If you want to get more closely acquainted with Vergil's Doppelganger mechanic, I strongly encourage you to watch my first video, which is basically this Doppelganger guide, where I go very in-depth into the basics, the rudimentary aspects of this mechanic. The link to that video will be in the description below, so yeah. So first things first, before I start talking about the combo and the mistakes you can make and all that jazz, I should preface this by talking about my controls. So I play this game using my mouse and keyboard. Yeah, really. Blasphemy, I know. But I think that if you've ever played a single game on your PC using a mouse and a keyboard, these controls should be familiar to you. I think they're very easy to grasp. So, just like with almost every game ever, WASD are the keys you use for movement. So W is forward, S is backwards, A is left, D is right. This is the equivalent to you using your analog stick for moving, like tilting it left, right, forward, backward. That's basically what I use. So again, W forward, S backward, A left, D right. Obviously, just like in every game ever, space is jump. So I jump using space. The left mouse button, unsurprisingly, is the attack button. Also, like in every game ever. The right mouse button is the button I use for mirage blades. So all my mirage blade attacks are mapped to the right button. The right mouse button, I mean. So that's basically it for these basic controls. Shift is the button I use for locking on. So when I lock on, I press Shift. In this game, you gotta be locked on for just about any attack ever. Only under specific circumstances should you release the lock on. But yeah, basically lock on is Shift in my case. So next up, we've got the trick action. So, trick up, down, air trick, all that stuff. I use E. So E is the button I use. So if I press E without locking on, that is trick up. If I press E while locking on, like Shift plus E, that is air trick, and I teleport. If I press back to forward plus E, or S plus W plus E, that is trick down. So like I said, E is the trick action. That's the button I use for tricking, basically. R is the button I use for taunting. So that's the taunt button. Air taunts, lock on taunts, doesn't matter. R is the button you gotta press for taunting. Moving on, I have F, and F is the button I use to charge my Sindal trigger. So I press and hold F, then I release it, and I basically go into my Sindal trigger mode. Moving on, we also have 1 and 2. So 1 is the button for changing the weapon to the right. So my layout is as follows. I use the default layout for my weapons, my arsenal. So it goes Yamato, Beowulf, Mirage Edge. So if I have the Yamato equipped and I press 1, it will switch to Beowulf, which is the weapon to its right. And if I press 1 again, it will switch from Beowulf to the Mirage Edge, which is the weapon to its right. If I have the Yamato equipped, and I press 2, it will go to the weapon that's on its left, and that is the Mirage Edge. If I press 2 again, it will switch to Beowulf. If I press 2 again, it will once again switch to the Yamato. So that's how this works. We're switching weapons left and right. That's how it works. Moving on, we have the Doppelganger buttons. So the buttons are as follows. X is the slow Doppelganger. This is a Doppelganger that is kind of delayed by about, I don't know, half a second or something. So that's X. C is the normal Doppelganger. He is slightly delayed, not by half a second, but like he's just not completely in sync with you. So that's C. And V is the haste version of the doppelganger who is completely in sync with you, meaning that he immediately reacts to your commands and he mimics your inputs, he registers them immediately and simply reacts to them. So, yeah. I deactivate the doppelganger by pressing Z. So that's how I do it. And, you know, that's pretty much... those are all the controls, really. There are some other things like, you know, using CTRL to basically lock on to multiple targets, or, I mean, switch the lock on, stuff like that. Or using the arrows, using, you know, it just doesn't matter, really. These are the main things that you will need. So, if I say, I'm pressing D plus left mouse button, that means that I'm pressing right plus attack button. If I say I'm pressing S plus W plus left mouse button, that means I'm pressing back to forward plus attack button. Kind of like tilting your analog stick back and then forward and then pressing the attack button. So that's how it works. If I say back to forward plus right mouse button, or S plus W plus right mouse button, that is basically back to forward plus your mirage blade button. So heavy rain blades in my case. But don't worry, most of the time, like 99% of the time, I'll say right plus attack button instead of D plus left mouse button, because I feel like that's more universally comprehensible, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, these are my controls, and now let's talk about the actual combo. So it all comes down to this. 2 years of combos and combo analyses, all for this one moment. 23 combos, and, well, this is the 23rd combo analysis. The sewer combo. I never actually thought I would get to this point, but here we are, I guess. So, yeah, this combo, like, the first half of this combo is by Chantatsu. Now, Chantatsu is a guy who made a Vergil combo video on the very day Vergil came out. Like, he made this combo mad in a way, and every single combo was so good. They were not overly advanced, but they were still really good. Unfortunately, he either deleted his channel or it got taken down for whatever godforsaken reason, but his legacy lives on through my combos, because the hotel combo is basically his combo. The only difference is I used Hell on Earth instead of Judgment Cut End. The Wasteland combo is basically the first half is from one of his combos, and the second half is from another one of his combos from that same video. The Library combo is basically his combo, and the Sewer combo, the whole first half, is, well, basically his combo. So, yeah, he has some really interesting setups. I'll leave the link, because I still have the link to his video, but it's, like, dead, so I don't really see the point of that, but whatever. And, that's the first half. Fun fact, this combo was originally 2 combos. So, the first combo was called the Sewer combo, and it was basically the first half of this combo. So, you do the combo, and you do the last rapid slash, and then you just end the combo there. Like, Vergil ends rapid slash, he puts the sword back in its scabbard, and that's that. So that was the Sewer combo, and it was actually the first combo that I replicated, excluding the infamous Sign the Storm That Is Approaching combo by Sunhee Legend. So if we exclude that combo, this was the first combo that started this whole journey in a way. So that was the Sewer combo, and the second combo was called the Pirouette combo, and it was basically just all these rapid slashes and then the doppelganger setup. So that was it. It was just the doppelganger setup. So I said, like, you know, man, this Sewer combo, like the original combo, is way too easy. It is by far the easiest setup on the list. Like, I think it's easier than the hotel combo, the Clifoth combo. It's definitely the easiest thing ever. And I was like, yeah, it's way too simple. And the Pirouette combo is way too short. So I decided to basically merge these two setups into one combo. And I did that on the 1st of July, 2022. And I call that the sewer combo. So that's the sewer combo we have right now. And the second half of this combo is by Fumituki underscore DMC, a very good advanced DMC player. So I took this setup from one of his combos. And yeah, there's a reason why I've been delaying this combo analysis. The reason is very simple, and I think I already talked about this in my urban combo analysis. So I really hate segments where Vergil does one combo and the Doppelganger does another. Usually the Doppelganger is in the air, like, you know, the Crimson combo, the Wasteland combo, the Urban combo, the Moist combo. But with all of these combos, all of these are like setups are very hard to explain, but incredibly easy to do. The Wasteland combo, the Crimson combo, the Moist combo, they're actually, like, these setups that I'm talking about, they're really easy to do. But discussing it, like explaining them, is so tedious. But with the Urban combo, it's not only difficult to explain, but it's also difficult to do. And that is the case with the sewer combo as well. So much so, in fact, that I'd venture to say that this is probably the only thing I can't explain. I mean, maybe I can. I'm not saying it's completely, you know, outside the scope of my ability, but I'm just saying it's not worth it, all right? And I will try. I'll do my best, or I'll try to do a good job, but I can explain the combo, I can analyze it, but when we get to this part right here, like the part where Vergil is, you know, he does Helmbreaker, and now, you know, he's supposed to use Mirage combo B, and the Doppelganger is supposed to use Yamato combo C, that is going to be a problem. So I'm pretty sure that midway I'll just give up, basically. Because, yeah, this combo is pure muscle memory. No matter how hard I try to analyze it, no matter how hard I try to go frame by frame, it is just really, really aggravating to deal with. And I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro. I don't even know how I do this combo. I don't know what the hell I'm pressing. Like, I just know that I got the feeling for it, or at least I think I have the feeling for it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'd say that, like, 7 times out of 10, or 6 times out of 10, I will fail this setup, basically. Even though I may think I got the muscle memory down. It is just incredibly tedious to explain and to do. So, with that being said, let's start this aggravating, laborious analysis. Like I said, the first half of this combo is literally the easiest thing ever. So you gotta have the Yamato equipped, and now you use Rising Star. Now that you're done with Rising Star, you use Aerial Cleave. Now that you're done with Aerial Cleave, you use Trig Down. And now you wait just a little bit, and you use Rapid Slash. It's worth noting that you gotta wait before using Rapid Slash, because in all of these instances, as you can see here, I basically use Rapid Slash way too early. And as a result, I don't graze the enemy, and they fall to the ground way too fast. Like, they lose too much altitude, and they fall to the ground. And, well, basically that's what happens. Like, you gotta make sure to wait a little before using Rapid Slash. Alright, so anyway, use Rapid Slash, and now you use Air Trick to teleport to the enemy. Now you use Aerial Rave 2 with the Yamato, and as you're using Aerial Rave 2, you make sure to start holding the double trigger button, or in my case, I press and hold F. And you don't let go of this button until I tell you when, basically. So, now you use Aerial Rave 2 with the Yamato, you switch to Beowulf, and you use Starfall. Alright? Now you use kick 13 and make sure to hold the attack button to do the full version of kick 13. The one with with those two launching kicks that used to be called Rising Sun back in DMC3. Yeah, so make sure to hold the attack button while using kick 13. And now you basically use the Lunar Phase with Beowulf, and you switch the Mirage Edge, and you use Helmbreaker. And now, basically, as you're using Helmbreaker, you immediately, like when you hit the ground, you let go of the double trigger button, you release it, and you enter your Sin double trigger form. Now you switch to the Yamato, and you use Rapid Slash 4 times. So left plus attack button, right plus attack button, left plus attack button, right plus attack button. And after the fourth and final Rapid Slash, you make sure to use Air Trick to teleport to the enemy. And now, when you're literally next to the enemy, you summon the slow version of the Doppelganger. Make sure not to summon the Doppelganger before teleporting next to the enemy. I don't know why, but so many times I would get hasty and I would basically summon the Doppelganger before, during Air Trick. Well, while teleporting, I summon the Doppelganger and this happens. I summon him before I can actually get to the enemy. So don't be like me. That's on me. And, yeah, that's basically the first half of this combo. It's really simple. I don't know, there are a few mistakes you can make, and one mistake that comes to mind is this. So this is probably the only issue you can encounter during this part of the combo, and, let's just call it the kick 13 fail. So, as you can see here, I use Aerial Raid 2, I use Starfall, and now I use kick 13 immediately, but it seems that, Starfall took me too far away from the enemy, even though it doesn't seem that way, and the enemy loses altitude before I can catch them with kick 13, and as a result, the final two kicks don't connect. Oh, and you have another instance, the third instance in the Void, where the same thing happens. So, basically, kick 13, apparently I'm taken too far away from the enemy, and, I just can't. The last two hits don't connect at all. This, I'm not going to say it's incredibly common, but it can definitely happen. What's more common, however, is this. So in this instance, the same thing happens, but I actually connect, the final two hits, but barely. I'm still kind of far away from the enemy, and the enemy still hits the ground before I can catch them with, kick 13, but at least somehow it works, alright? So this is the more common issue. But the most common issue is probably this. So in this example, I use Starfall, but now I'm too close to the enemy. So when I use kick 13, I basically catch the enemy before they fall to the ground, but they weren't close enough to the ground. This is the polar opposite of those previous mistakes. So as a result, look at what happens. I use kick 13, the final two hits, and, well, I can't use Lunar Phase because the enemy is too high up in the air. He's way higher than Vergil, so I can't really make contact with the enemy to use Lunar Phase. And you can see that exact thing happen in this segment right here. So look at this. I basically use the same thing, blah, 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 Starfall, and whoop, 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 whoop. Well, let's use Lunar Phase. Oh, nope. See, the last hit of Lunar Phase didn't work. So, let me explain something. So, one thing you'll notice in my original combo is that, well, I use Air Trick after using kick 13, before Lunar Phase, and that is for this exact reason. So, I was afraid that the enemy was way higher than Vergil, so I didn't want to risk using Lunar Phase and then, the last hit disconnecting. So when this happens, when you notice that Vergil and the enemy are not on the same altitude, you might want to use Air Trick for good measure before using Lunar Phase. Now, it's kind of funny, because this is usually what ends up happening. I usually end up having to use air trick. But in my original, like the first sewer combo, which was only the first half, I actually did it without having to use air trick. So the enemy and Vergil were perfectly, they were at the same, on the same wavelength, on the same height. So yeah, but this isn't very common, unfortunately. And you can see in the void, in the analysis, the example that I used, I did it literally perfectly. I don't know what this depends on, to be honest. Maybe it has to do with when you use rapid slash. Like, maybe the enemy is supposed to be lower, like closer to the ground. Maybe you're really supposed to wait before using rapid slash. Maybe it has to do with when I use, aerial raid tool. Maybe it has to do with when I use Starfall. I have no idea, to be honest, and I'm not really gonna exert a lot of brain power trying to, explain this. There's this instance right here where Starfall literally doesn't graze the enemy. So the roulette spin of aerial raid tool kind of launches the enemy into the air, like it raises them a little. So when I switch to Beowulf and use Starfall, I don't hit the enemy at all, right? And they just fall to the ground, like, just like this. And that's something that can definitely happen. So I think this is about everything that I have to say regarding the first part of this combo, like the first half. And now we can actually start talking about the difficult part. Alright, so now that you're literally right next to the enemy, you make sure to switch to the Mirage Edge, or, well, you can do that earlier, like after Rapid Slash, it doesn't really matter. So you switch to the Mirage Edge, and you summon the slow version of the Doppelganger. As you already know, when you summon the Doppelganger and you're right next to the enemy, the Doppelganger being summoned will basically launch the enemy into the air. So that's what's going to happen. So you summon the slow version of the Doppelganger that is basically not in sync with you. He reacts to your commands about half a second later. So, yeah. Anyway, you summon the Doppelganger and you use Air Trick immediately. But I use immediately very loosely here because it's not actually supposed to be done immediately. So, in a lot of these examples that I'll show you right now, I use Air Trick way too early. And what ends up happening is, well, this, right? So, definitely don't use Air Trick too early. Wait for the enemy to be launched higher up into the air, and then use Air Trick. But at the same time, you can't wait too long. So, you need to find this middle ground, but believe me, it may sound a little intimidating, but trust me, this is entirely preventable. Like, all these mistakes are on me. So, yeah. So anyway, you summon the slow version of the Doppelganger, and now you use Air Trick to teleport to the enemy who is now airborne. At this point, you use Air Stinger with the Mirage Edge, which is left plus attack button. And now you release the lock-on, and you jump, and you press right plus attack button to use this reverse Helmbreaker. Now, as you already know, Helmbreaker, when you're in the air with the Mirage Edge, is simply pressing the attack button, right? Or locking on and pressing the attack button. But if you want to use this reverse Helmbreaker, and you're on the right side in the air, and, you want Vergil to hit the ground, like, on the right, if that makes any sense, you're supposed to let go of the lock-on and press right plus attack button. If you don't let go of the lock-on, it won't work. Vergil will use a regular Helmbreaker. So, of course, like I said, you gotta let go of the lock-on and press right plus attack button for this reverse Helmbreaker. But that's not all. Like I said, you really need to jump cancel. You gotta enemy step. So the moment you touch the enemy with Air Stinger, like you press the left plus attack button, you immediately enemy step. So you immediately jump cancel. You press jump, or in my case, I press space. So basically, left plus attack button, jump, let go of the lock-on, right plus attack button. So that's how it works. Air Stinger, enemy step, let go of the lock-on, reverse helmbreaker, alright? So now that you've basically hit the ground with Helmbreaker, you'll notice how the Doppelganger uses Rapid Slash, and you may be wondering why. So let me explain. Basically, as you already know, when you're on the right side, in the air, with the Mirage Edge, pressing left plus attack button is Air Stinger, right? But when you're on the right side, on the ground, with the Yamato, pressing left plus attack button is Rapid Slash. And as you already know, the Doppelganger is on the ground, on the right side, and he can only use the Yamato. So he reacts to your commands, and when you press the left plus attack button, Vergil will use Air Stinger with the Mirage Edge, but the Doppelganger will react to those commands, and he will use Rapid Slash with the Yamato. But you may be thinking, why does he only use it now? Like, isn't it a little late? Well, you're forgetting that this is actually the slow version of the Doppelganger who is delayed by approximately half a second, so he doesn't react to your commands immediately. So he didn't immediately react to my commands when I pressed the left plus attack button to use Air Stinger. He reacted later, so that is why he uses Rapid Slash later. And by using Rapid Slash, he also grazes the enemy, preventing them from falling to the ground. So, yeah, pretty high IQ stuff, right? But you know, I literally just realized this now, and I can't believe it took me this long. I was so focused on replicating the combo perfectly that I completely forgot about the fact I didn't even take it into consideration. The fact that you don't even need to use this reverse Helmbreaker at all. It's just needlessly cumbersome. So what you can do is you summon the slow version of the Doppelganger, you use Air Trick to teleport to the enemy, you use Air Stinger with the Mirage Edge, which is the left plus attack button, now you jump, you use enemy step, and you simply press the attack button to use Helmbreaker. You don't need to let go of the lock-on and press right plus attack button, because you don't even need to use this reverse Helmbreaker at all. It's just there for stylish purposes, I guess. I don't really know. Like, there's absolutely no need. It's not a requirement. Like, it's not required that you use this reverse Helmbreaker. You can use a regular Helmbreaker, which is simply locking on and pressing the attack button, which is way easier than having to release the lock-on and press right plus attack button and then lock on again. So if you want to go the easy route, you can absolutely do this. And come to think of it, I think I should have done this as well, but oh well, whatever. It's not difficult to use this reverse Helmbreaker, but yeah. So everything up until this point has been cakewalk. Even though this setup may sound a little intimidating at first, believe me, it is incredibly easy. What's not easy is what happens after you use Helmbreaker, after you hit the ground. I don't know how I'm going to explain this. I don't know how I'm going to analyze this. It is pure muscle memory, but it's more than that because I still keep failing this. I don't know how to get it down perfectly, and I don't have any consistency, right? Like 7 times out of 10, I will fail. So what's supposed to happen in this part is Vergil is supposed to use Mirage Edge combo B, and the Doppelganger is supposed to use Yamato combo C. And the Doppelganger is supposed to blow the enemy away with the last hit of Yamato combo C, and as he does that, you basically come back and you, like, hit the enemy with this pirouette, like this spinning sword slash. And that's basically what's supposed to happen. But everything that leads up to that is just, I don't want to say up in the air, because I don't know, man. I'll try to explain it to the best of my ability, but I'm warning you, it won't be pretty. Like, this is going to be very half-assed. So Yamato combo C, as you already know, is basically you do 4 hits with the Yamato, then you make a very short pause, and then you just proceed to mash the attack button like a maniac. And, you'll do this slash barrage, and then, you'll knock the enemy away. You'll blow them away with this final hit of Yamato Combo C. But, of course, like I said, it's like 4 hits with the Yamato, but, you could press the attack button 4 times, but you can simply mash like a maniac, like 6 times, 8 times, it doesn't really matter, So, even though it's 4 hits, you can mash the attack button as much as you want, as long as you don't mash after that pause. Like, you gotta make the pause. That's the most important thing. And the same applies to Mirage Edge Combo B. Mirage Edge Combo B consists of 2 hits, so it's like attack button, and then you make a lengthy pause, a pretty lengthy pause, and then you proceed to mash like a maniac, right? But of course, as you already know, the first hit of Mirage Edge Combo B is basically these 2 hits, and the second hit is this spin that Vergil does with the sword. So these are 2 hits, but you don't have to press the attack button twice. You can mash like a maniac, like 8 times or 12 times until you reach that pause. But make sure that when it's time to make the pause, you are not mashing the attack button. This is already starting to sound a little confusing, and I think you'll realize why I hate explaining these types of things. So, anyway, Vergil is supposed to use Mirage Edge Combo B, and the Doppelganger is supposed to use Yamato Combo C. So when you hit the ground with Helmbreaker, right, you lock on immediately, and you start mashing. In this case, I'm mashing the attack button like 7 times, and I'm also simultaneously mashing the Mirage Blade button. I am basically throwing a bunch of Mirage Blades at the enemy to prevent the enemy from falling to the ground. Now, this isn't a requirement per se. Like, there have been instances where I didn't throw any Mirage Blades and the enemy didn't fall to the ground. But more often than not, if you don't use any Mirage Blades to suspend the enemy, they will hit the ground before the Doppelganger can actually hit them with Yamato Combo C, which is just really stupid. But, maybe one way to basically facilitate this would be to use the Heavy Rain Blades. This would kind of guarantee that the enemy would be frozen in time. But I don't know why that didn't occur to me earlier, so whatever. Anyway, I keep mashing the attack button like 7 to 8 times. In this case, I think I mashed the attack button like 7 times. And with each mash, I mash the right mouse button, or well, the Mirage Blade button as well. Alright, so when I do the second hit of Mirage Edge Combo B, right, I'm done with it. At this point, I make that pause, and I also change the Doppelganger's mode from slow to haste. Now, the haste version of the Doppelganger reacts to your commands immediately. I don't really know when you're supposed to change the Doppelganger's mode, but as long as it's after the second hit of Yamato Combo C, and as long as it's before the pause, before the slash barrage, you should be fine. Anyway, I gotta go back and rewind and recap this part again. So you hit the ground with Helmbreaker, you immediately lock on, you mash the attack button like 7 times, and with each mash of the attack button, you mash the Mirage Blade button. So in my case, I'm basically mashing the left and right mouse button. And now, when Vergil does the second hit of Mirage Edge Combo B, and the Doppelganger does the fourth hit of Yamato Combo C, you make a pause, and you also change the Doppelganger's mode from slow to haste. At this point, you release the lock-on, and you press backwards, or in my case, S. And you keep holding backwards. You keep holding S. So now, you just, now that you're done with the pause, you finally release, you finally press the attack button again, and you keep mashing the attack button like a maniac, all while pressing backwards. So now Vergil will do Mirage Edge Combo B, but he will basically be facing the screen, like he'll be facing you, and the Doppelganger will use the slash barrage of Yamato Combo C. And now, just as Vergil's Doppelganger is about to use the last hit of Yamato Combo C to blow the enemy away, you lock on. In my case, I press right and I lock on, but that's ignore that. You don't have to press right. You lock on, and Vergil will automatically go back, and he will face the enemy, and he will basically pin the enemy to the ground. He will hit them with the last hit of Mirage Edge Combo B. Oh, and of course, the moment the Doppelganger blows the enemy away with the last hit of Yamato Combo C, you deactivate the Doppelganger. So that's something that, for some reason, I completely forgot about. So that is basically the sewer combo. Alright, I don't know why it took me this long, but I finally cracked the code. So I literally made this video, and literally, like, I rendered the video, and then I was like, no, I'm not satisfied with this half-assed explanation. So I spent some time in the void, and I was trying to get the feel for it. Like, I spent 40 minutes trying to see how, like, what exactly I do differently when, like, what my fingers press and when they make a pause whenever I do this combo perfectly. And I have finally established a pattern. So let's start with the best, like, so this is going to be the core of the video, like the main analysis, all right? So again, you summon the slow version of the Doppelganger, and you wait a little bit. Now that the enemy has been launched into the air, you press left plus attack button to use Air Stinger with the Mirage Edge, and you immediately jump to enemy step to cancel the Air Stinger, and now you press the attack button again to use Helm Breaker. There's no need for that reverse Helm Breaker. This is way easier. And now that you've used Helm Breaker, now that you're on the ground, you mash the attack button about 6 to 7 to 8 times, and you also mash the Mirage Blade button, or in my case, the right mouse button. And this is key, okay? You should not pay attention to Vergil. Instead, focus on the Doppelganger. Just look at the Doppelganger, okay? And please, I can't overstate how important this is. Please focus on the Doppelganger. So you hit the ground with Helmbreaker, you start mashing, and after you see Vergil's Doppelganger do the second hit of Yamato Combo C, you stop mashing. Alright? You stop mashing at that point. So look at this. You see how Vergil's Doppelganger has finished the second hit of Yamato Combo C? Immediately, you just stop mashing, right? And you change the Doppelganger's mode at this point. So as you already know, I've already covered this, but you're supposed to change the Doppelganger's mode after the second hit of Yamato Combo C, but it can be like during the third hit, the fourth hit. What's important is that you change the Doppelganger's mode from slow to haste after you stop mashing, like when you start the pause, but before the slash barrage. So anything in that time frame is good. So you can change the Doppelganger's mode the moment you stop mashing. So the moment you start the pause, anything after the pause is alright, but as long as it is before the slash barrage. So after you stop mashing, but before you resume mashing. That is really important. And you can do it after the second hit of Yamato Combo C. You can do it during the third hit, the fourth hit, during the pause. It doesn't matter so long as you do it before you resume mashing and after you stop mashing. And now, after this pause has been made, you press the attack button again, and you keep mashing. But of course, you let go of the lock-on, and you press and hold backwards. Or in my case, I press and hold S. And you keep holding it, you keep holding backwards, and you keep mashing, and at some point, you lock on again. And Vergil will finish the combo. And you deactivate the Doppelganger, of course. That is basically how this is supposed to work. And I will now show you like about 10 different examples where I did this combo successfully, and we will analyze each of these examples to see what's different and what I did exactly. Alright, so analysis 2, because we already analyze the first. We already had the first analysis, so this is analysis 2. Alright, so basically, what happens here is I hit the ground with Homebreaker, and now I start mashing the attack button like 7 times, and I also simultaneously mash the Mirage Blade button. Now look at Vergil's Doppelganger. He does the first 2 hits of Yamato Combo C, and after he does the second hit, I stop mashing. I start the pause. And now he will do the next 2 hits of Yamato Combo C, and at that point I also change his mode from slow to haste. So unprompted, even though I'm not mashing, he will use these 2 hits of Yamato Combo C because he is delayed and he will react to all those mashes we made. You get that? So that is why this happens. This is why I told you, you stop mashing the attack button after you see the Doppelganger do the second hit of Yamato Combo C. Because if you keep mashing after Vergil's Doppelganger is done with that, he will use Yamato Combo A. The pause won't be enough because he is delayed. You got that? So, again, like I said, I hit the ground with Homebreaker, I mash the attack button like 7 times while simultaneously mashing the Mirage Blade button, and look at the Doppelganger. He does the first hit, the second hit of Yamato Combo C. After the second hit, I stop mashing, right? I make this pause, I change his mode, he does the next 2 hits, I let go of the lock-on, I press and hold backwards, and eventually I press the attack button again, and I keep mashing the attack button while holding backwards. And at some point, definitely not too late, I lock on again, and Vergil goes back to the enemy to finish the combo. And that is basically it. Now let's look at analysis 3 here. I hit the ground with Homebreaker, I mash the attack button, I keep mashing it, Vergil's Doppelganger does the first hit, the second hit of Yamato Combo C, after the second hit I stop mashing. And he does the next 2 hits of Yamato Combo C, I change his mode, I let go of the lock-on, and I press and hold backwards. And now, I press the attack button again, and I keep mashing the attack button while simultaneously holding backwards. And eventually, at some point, I lock on again, and I finish Mirage Edge Combo B. And of course, make sure to deactivate the Doppelganger, okay? So that's basically it. Analysis number 5. Again, I hit the ground with Homebreaker, I keep mashing the attack button and the Mirage Blade button, and look at the Doppelganger. He does the first hit, the second hit of Yamato Combo C. After the second hit, I change his mode, and he does the next 2 hits of Yamato Combo C. I'm still making the pause, I let go of the lock-on, I press and hold backwards, and I press the attack button again, and I start mashing. So, yeah, eventually I lock on again, yada yada yada, you know the drill. Okay, so analysis 6, okay? I'm mashing the attack button, I hit the ground with Homebreaker, I mash the attack button and the Mirage Blade button, and look at the Doppelganger. First hit, second hit of Yamato Combo C. After the second hit, I simply stop mashing, and I change his mode. He does the next 2 hits of Yamato Combo C. I let go of the lock-on, I press and hold backwards, and I start mashing the attack button. So it's the same thing as always. Okay, analysis 7. This was from 2022, actually. You can tell by the void. So, again, I hit the ground with Homebreaker, I start mashing the attack button, and now you can see the Doppelganger does the first hit, the second hit of Yamato Combo C. After the second hit, I simply stop mashing. He does the next 2 hits of Yamato Combo C. I change his mode, I let go of the lock-on, I press and hold backwards, and I start mashing the attack button. So that is basically it. Eventually, I lock on again, and you know what happens after that. It's all the same. Analysis number 9. Again, I hit the ground with Homebreaker, and you can tell how I start mashing the attack button and the Mirage Blade button. The Doppelganger does the first hit, the second hit of Yamato Combo C. After the second hit, I immediately stop mashing. He does the next 2 hits of Yamato Combo C, but first I change his mode. Now I let go of the lock-on, I press and hold backwards, and eventually I start mashing the attack button again. You gotta make sure the pause is long enough. If it's not long enough, there will be issues. If it's too long, there will also be issues. So yeah, in all of these instances, it is the same. I know that I keep repeating myself a lot. It's something that I do a lot for my combos, and I've had complaints. I've also had people compliment me on this, funnily enough. I'll explain why I engage in so much repetition in all of these combo analyses when I make my final video talking about, well, everything. But I really gotta make sure you guys understand that this is a pattern, that this isn't just something that I pulled out of my ass, right? This is definitely something that you can see here, and it's also something that I feel while playing. I definitely, like, you pay attention to the doppelganger. That is the most important part. And you make sure to change his mode either after he does the second hit or before the pause. Doesn't matter. As soon as you stop mashing, right, you can change his mode in that window, right? That's all that matters. Alright, so before I start actually analyzing these insane combo overlapping mistakes, let me explain this one other mistake that's not really frequent. It's not very common. So sometimes the doppelganger will use a double rapid slash, and I didn't know why this happened at first, but then I started analyzing my commands, and I think it's not unlikely that, I press the left plus attack button to use this air stinger, and then I let go of the lock-on and I press right plus attack button to use this reverse helm breaker. And maybe the doppelganger somehow registers that as, okay, left plus attack button is rapid slash, right plus attack button is another rapid slash in the opposite direction. So that's why he does it. But one thing that doesn't make sense is I wasn't locked on when I used this reverse helm breaker. I pressed right plus attack button without holding on, and you gotta lock on to use rapid slash, so it doesn't make sense for this to be the case. But that's the only thing that comes to mind. Even though it makes no sense, it's the only thing that comes to mind. But yeah, I guess that's an argument. It's all the more reason why you shouldn't use this reverse helm breaker. So, just use the regular helm breaker. Just, jump cancel, you jump, and you press the attack button. So yeah. Alright, so now we're going to be analyzing all of the most frequent mistakes that you can make during this combo. So these are the actual common mistakes that are really crazy and just extremely agonizing to explain. Alright, so check this out. Here you can see how Vergil ended up using Mirage Edge combo A instead of combo B, but the doppelganger ended up using Yamato combo C regardless. So let's see what I did. I hit the ground with Helmbreaker, I keep mashing, I'm still mashing, even though, Vergil's doppelganger did the second hit of Yamato combo C, and I keep mashing, and now I make a pause, but it's too late because check this out. Even though I made this pause, I had mashed too many times before that, and Vergil ended up using the last hit of Mirage Edge combo A. However, the pause I made at this point was long enough so that when I pressed the attack button again, Vergil's doppelganger actually ended up using the combo C barrage. So it's kind of hard to explain, but it's just really funny. Make sure you're not mashing like a maniac. So stop mashing after, this Vergil's doppelganger does the second hit of Yamato combo C. I've said this a billion times by now. Okay, so here you can see this really frequent mistake, like the doppelganger ends up resetting Yamato combo C. So let's see what I did here. So I hit the ground with Helmbreaker, I keep mashing, and Vergil's doppelganger, as you can see, has done the second hit of Yamato combo C, but I still kept mashing, but only once, right? Okay, so now I make a pause, and I change the doppelganger's mode. However, the pause I made was too long for Vergil's doppelganger, but it wasn't too long for Vergil, so when I pressed the attack button again, Vergil did Mirage Edge combo B, but the doppelganger reset Yamato combo C. But get this, if I had made a shorter pause, what would have happened is, well, Vergil would have done the last hit of Mirage Edge combo A instead of combo B. So that's pretty interesting. We have multiple instances like this, so let's see what happens here. This is kind of curious, honestly. So here you can see the same thing happened, but look at this. I hit the ground with Helmbreaker, and I'm mashing the attack button. Vergil's doppelganger does the first hit, the second hit of Yamato combo C, and I make a pause. I stop mashing after he did the second hit, but I did change his mode. Maybe I did it too early. And now I make a pause, and I wait, and I press the attack button again, but the pause was too long, so Vergil's Doppelganger ended up resetting Yamato combo C. But Vergil ended up using Mirage Edge combo B, because like I said, Mirage Edge combo B as a combo requires a longer pause than Yamato combo C. Now, I may have talked about this previously, but basically, Mirage Edge combo B requires a longer pause between hits than Yamato combo C. So Yamato combo C, the pause you make before that hit, that slash barrage is actually not supposed to be long. If the pause you make for Yamato combo C is too long, Vergil will reset Yamato combo C, or in this case, his Doppelganger will reset Yamato combo C. But if the pause isn't short enough, he will use Yamato combo A. You got that? But if, for Mirage Edge combo B, if the pause you make isn't long enough, Vergil will use the last hit of Mirage Edge combo A instead of continuing combo B. But if the pause you make is too long, he will reset Mirage Edge combo B. In this case, what happened was the pause I made was long enough for Mirage Edge combo B, so Vergil ended up using Mirage Edge combo B. If the pause I made had been shorter, he would have simply used the last hit of Mirage Edge combo A, most likely. But, if the pause I made had been shorter, like I said, the Doppelganger would have most likely started using the slash barrage, and he would have started using Yamato combo C. So there's this disparity, this disconnect between the two pauses required for these combos. I believe that the reason this happened here was because the pause was way too long. I think Vergil still would have used Mirage Edge combo B, even if I'd pressed the attack button, slightly earlier, right? So I think I definitely took my time here. So, yeah. And here, for example, you'll see the exact same thing. So I hit the ground with Helmbreaker, and I'm mashing, and look at the Doppelganger. He does 1 hit, 2 hits of Yamato combo C, and as always, after he does the second hit of Yamato combo C, I stop mashing, right? And that's how it's supposed to be. As you already know, we've been over this a billion times. But I've noticed something funny here, and this is the case with the previous 2 to 3 examples that we've analyzed as well. It's not just that Vergil's Doppelganger resets Yamato combo C, it's that he doesn't even do the 3rd and 4th hit of Yamato combo C. So he only does the first 2 hits of Yamato combo C. And after the second hit, when I stop mashing, he stops mashing as well. And I'm like, why? I mean, we already know that he's supposed to, we're supposed to stop mashing after he does the second hit. But I seriously believe that I should have pressed the attack button one more time. I should have pressed the attack button one more time, and this would have caused the Doppelganger to use the other 2 hits of Yamato combo C. Because this is exactly what happens here. The Doppelganger resets combo C after he does the first 2 hits. It's not even the first 4 hits. He only does 2 hits. He does not register anything else. And maybe it's because I changed his mode too early, from slow to haste. But like I said, I genuinely don't think that's the case. So what the hell gives here? Why does this happen? We've already established that you're supposed to stop mashing the attack button after the Doppel does the second hit of Yamato combo C. And that's exactly what I do here, but this time, the Doppelganger doesn't do those 2 remaining, slashes. He just does the first 2 hits of Yamato combo C and then stops. So maybe it's because, I don't know. Now that I think about it, you know what? I think all that talk about pauses has nothing to do with this. I think the pauses I made were not too short or not too long. I genuinely believe that I should have pressed the attack button one more time. even though you're generally not supposed to press the attack button after the Doppelganger does the second hit of Yamato Combo C. I feel like in this case, this would have actually, caused the combo to work. This gets so complicated, man, like, the more I analyze it, and, yeah, maybe it really is the Doppel mode change being done too early, I don't know. Actually, you know what? I think I may have cracked the code again. So check out these remaining 6 instances, alright? So look at this, So in this instance, you'll see the same thing happens. So obviously, I hit the ground with Homebreaker, I'm mashing, Vergil's Doppelganger does the first hit, the second hit of Yamato Combo C, and now I stop mashing, and I immediately change his mode, right? And he doesn't do the remaining 2 hits, he only does the first 2 hits. And you know what I've noticed here? Remember how I said how I was considering the possibility of this being caused by the mode being changed way too early? Well, look at what I've noticed. In this instance, and in all of these other instances, I changed the Doppelganger's mode before I stopped mashing. So look at this. I press the attack button for the 7th time, and after I do that, I literally, look at this. Look at the Doppelganger's mode. It literally changes, I change it before letting go of the attack button. What if this is the reason why this happens? Or maybe I really should have pressed the attack button one more time. But let's look at this other instance, alright? Different instance, I hit the ground with Homebreaker, and I'm mashing. The Doppelganger does the first hit, the second hit of Yamato Combo C, and now, after the second hit, I stop mashing, right? So, look at this. I basically change the Doppelganger's mode, and he doesn't do the remaining 2 hits of Yamato Combo C. And again, let's see what's so weird about this. When I press the attack button for the 7th time, I change the Doppelganger's mode before letting go of the attack button. So I basically changed the Doppelganger's mode before I stop mashing. And as you already know, you can only change the Doppelganger's mode after you've made the pause and before you resume mashing. Let's see the third instance, alright? Okay, so I'm on the ground with Homebreaker, I'm mashing, look at the Doppelganger, he does the first hit of Yamato Combo C, he does the second hit, I stop mashing after he does the second hit, I change his mode, and once again, he doesn't do the remaining 2 hits of Yamato Combo C. And let's look at what happens. Basically, it turns out I changed his mode during the 7th hit of the the 7th press of the attack button. That is crazy. Let's look at this other instance, alright? I'm on the ground, I'm mashing, the Doppelganger does the first hit, the second hit of Yamato Combo C, and during the 7th hit, I change his mode. I don't wait to stop mashing, and again, he doesn't do the remaining 2 hits. I'm starting to think this is it. I think this is the reason why this happens. So this happens, I think, because I changed the Doppelganger's mode from slow to haste before I actually make the pause, before I actually stop mashing. And this probably causes the Doppelganger not to react to all those previous mashes because I simply changed his mode from slow to haste. So he's no longer delayed, he no longer reacts to those previous hits. It's kind of like canceled out. So I genuinely think this may be it. But on the off chance that it isn't, it could just be caused by me not pressing the attack button one more time after the second hit of Yamato Combo C. But keep in mind, if you press the attack button after Vergil's Doppelganger does the second hit of Yamato Combo C, you're risking the Doppelganger using Yamato Combo A. And again, you have these 2 cases, these 2 instances where I actually encounter the same issue, but in these 2 examples, I actually didn't change the Doppelganger's mode from slow to haste during the mash. So I waited, I made the pause, and only after the pause did I stop mashing, and I still encounter that issue. So I have no idea. Now in these examples, you'll see the complete opposite happen. In these examples, the Doppelganger does Yamato Combo C, but Vergil resets Mirage Edge Combo B. So let's see what happens here. So in all the following instances, you'll see the same pattern. Basically, I stop mashing in time after the Doppelganger does the second hit of Yamato Combo C, but the pause I make is way too long. So I take way too long to basically resume mashing. And the Doppelganger does Yamato combo C. The pause isn't too long for him, but it is too long for Vergil. So you can see a lot of these instances. I think you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 instances here. So yeah, it's all the same exact pattern.
We're finally getting to the most common mistake. Alright, guys, stay with me. Alright, so in all of these instances, Vergil's Doppelganger ends up using Yamato Combo A instead of Yamato Combo C. So let's see why this happens. Okay, so basically here you can see how I hit the ground with the helm breaker and I start mashing the attack button. And let's see Vergil's Doppelganger. He does the first hit, the second hit of Yamato Combo C, and I'm still mashing the attack button apparently. I make a pause, I change his mode, but apparently the pause I made wasn't long enough. It was long enough for Vergil, and he ended up using Mirage Combo B, but it was not enough for the Doppelganger, so the Doppelganger ended up using Yamato Combo A. Alright, another instance of this happening. Okay, so here, same thing. I basically hit the ground with Homebreaker. I'm mashing the attack button. Vergil's Doppelganger has the first hit, the second hit of Yamato Combo C, and I make a pause here, and apparently the pause wasn't long enough. What? But I thought we established a pattern here, bro. What? Wait, why? Oh, wait, never mind. I think the pause I made was simply too short. Like, looking back on it, it's definitely way too short. But apparently it wasn't too short for Vergil. So, yay. Alright, same bullshit. Okay, I'm hitting the ground. I start mashing. Vergil's Doppelganger does the first hit, the second hit, but I'm still mashing the attack button like a maniac, so I make a pause, but when I press the attack button again, it doesn't matter. Like, even before I press the attack button, the Doppelganger already decided to use Yamato Combo A. So, yeah, no. Alright, we got the same thing happen here, so basically I hit the ground with Helmbreaker, I'm mashing the attack button, and let's see the Doppelganger. He does the first hit, the second hit of Yamato Combo C, but I'm still mashing the attack button. Now I make a pause, and it doesn't matter, like, even, like, I press the attack button, and the Doppelganger basically does Yamato Combo A, because the pause I made wasn't long enough, and it's not really that the pause wasn't long enough, it's that I mashed the attack button after Vergil's Doppelganger did the second hit of Yamato Combo C. So, yeah. Moving on. Again, I hit the ground with Homebreaker. I'm mashing the attack button. Vergil's Doppelganger does the first hit, the second hit of Yamato Combo C. I'm still mashing. Now I make a pause. I change his mode. And when I press the attack button again, he basically does Yamato Combo A. But in this case, Vergil also used Mirage Edge Combo A. So the pause was definitely way too non-existent, apparently. So let's see. Again, I am, mashing. Vergil's Doppelganger is the first, second hit of Yamato Combo C. I'm still mashing. I make a pause. But when I press the attack button again, Vergil's Doppelganger does, Yamato Combo A. And this is because I was mashing the attack button well after Vergil's Doppelganger did the second hit of Yamato Combo C. So he's delayed, so he reacts to your mashes. It's hard to explain. I'm not even going to bother, okay? Here, same thing happens. I'm mashing. Let's see. The Doppelganger does the first hit, the second hit of Yamato Combo C. I'm still mashing, but okay, not too much. I make a pause, and I press the attack button again, but, it's enough for Vergil. It's not enough for the Doppelganger, who ends up using Yamato Combo A instead of C. Moving on, again, I am basically using the same thing. Vergil's Doppelganger presses the 1, 2. I'm still mashing. You know what? I'm kind of done, bro. I'm kind of done. I'm not doing this, man. I'm just not doing this, bro. I'm not. These are all different instances. I got like 7 more. Like, what the fuck is the point, bro? No, I'm not doing this, man. I'm simply not doing this. You get the gist. You get the gist. Do you now see why I've been delaying this combo for so long? Do you now understand why I had half a mind? Why I had 90% of mind not to even upload this? I hope you understand now. This is gonna destroy me, man. I don't know, man. This combo, these setups with the Doppelganger using a combo in tandem with Vergil, this stuff is what nightmares are made of, at least when it comes to explaining. I swear to God, I'm not trying to discourage you from trying this combo. As a matter of fact, I definitely believe you could do it. It's not really insanely difficult, but explaining it, man, explaining it is a nightmare. It's, yeah.
Here you can see how the Doppelganger ended up using Yamato combo A, and he blew the enemy away directly into this tunnel. That was just so funny to me. Like, I don't even know, man.
Alright, so now let's talk about some of the mistakes that are either on me or simply not as common as the previous mistakes. So, one thing that can happen is, like, I would deactivate the Doppelganger before he was done with Yamato Combo C. And this happened a couple of times. This is completely on me. There was absolutely no reason for me to do that, but oh well. A more common issue that I would encounter is I would stop mashing mid-combo. Or rather, I would make a 0.0001%, 1 millisecond pause while using Mirage Edge Combo B, and this would be enough for Vergil to simply drop the combo. And, like, you really gotta mash the attack button really aggressively, like, really fast while using this. Like, you don't let up, you don't let go. It's like, yeah, I don't know why this happened, like 10 to 20 times, like, I don't even know how many times it happened. You can see some of the recorded instances on the screen right now. Like I said, these are only some of the instances. This happened a lot more times. You could say this is on me, but I wouldn't even say this is an uncommon mistake. It's something that just happens if you're not mashing fast enough and long enough. So, yeah, it's just kind of funny, honestly, how you can encounter this mistake as well. Like, imagine you're just done. You've done everything. Like, the combo should, in theory, work perfectly now, but, well, oh, you stopped mashing, and now it doesn't work anymore. So, yeah, that's a bummer. Sometimes the enemy would fall to the ground during Yamato combo C, so the Doppelganger doesn't, like, sometimes, like, they fall to the ground during the combo C / barrage, right? Which is very odd. Like, one thing that can happen is they fall to the ground before the / barrage, which is what happens if you don't throw the mirage blades at the enemy, so they lose too much altitude and they fall to the ground. But this is, like, not that problem. Like, the enemy was caught by the barrage. Like, the Doppelganger caught the enemy, but they fell to the ground mid-barrage, like, during this / barrage of Yamato Combo C. So, this can happen, but it's really rare. So, yeah. Sometimes the Doppelganger would end Yamato Combo C too early. And this happens when, like, it's kind of like, how do I put this? I make a very, like, a 0.1 millisecond pause while mashing. And this somehow causes the Doppelganger to finish Yamato Combo C earlier. Because as you already know, the / barrage goes as long as you keep mashing. If you don't mash long enough, you will obviously end Yamato Combo C earlier, which is what happened here. At some point, I pressed the attack button, and when I pressed it a second time, it just didn't, like, you know, there was a pause between those two hits. Even though you can't see it here, it's not noticeable, it is what happened, alright? So it's kind of the same issue as me not mashing, like not like when I stop mashing during Mirage combo B, and there's this pause and Vergil drops the combo. This is the same exact thing, only less aggressive, I guess. So you really gotta mash the attack button really fast. Make sure there are no pauses in between. And it gets kind of annoying because, well, you gotta simultaneously mash the Mirage Blade button, you gotta, lock on, you gotta do all these things, so, yeah. Sometimes this pirouette, this, crescent, well, it's not a crescent, it's like this circular slash would simply disconnect. So the last hit of Mirage Edge Combo B disconnects, and I don't know why this happens. It's a camera thing, it's an angle thing. It could have to do with me locking on too early or too late, I have no idea, but it did happen a couple of times, as you can see here. I don't know how many instances there are on the screen, probably 7, less, I don't really know. It's not a very common mistake though, so I wouldn't worry about it. One thing that can happen though is you lock on too late, and I've already mentioned this, so when you use Mirage Edge Combo B, if you stay locked on, if you don't let go of the lock on and press backward, what's going to happen is Vergil will simply run into the enemy with Mirage Edge Combo B, and the combo will obviously fail. So what you need to do is you let go of the lock on and you press and hold backwards, or in my case S, and you keep mashing the attack button while you are pressing, while you're holding down back, like the back button, or in my case S. And then, when Vergil's Doppelganger is about to end Yamato Combo C, at some point you lock on again, and Vergil will automatically go back to the enemy to finish the combo. But it's really important to know when to lock on. You shouldn't lock on just as Vergil's Doppelganger is about to finish Yamato Combo C. You gotta do it earlier. Not too early, but definitely do it earlier. Because if you lock on too late, Vergil will have gained too much distance from the enemy, and the Doppelganger will basically blow the enemy away in some random direction, and Vergil won't be able to use Combo B. He won't be able to hit the enemy, or, Vergil would hit the enemy, but the enemy would be on the ground, before the last hit of Mirage Edge Combo B. So definitely don't lock on too late. You gotta lock on early. So you let go of the lock on, you hold backwards, and you keep mashing, and then, I don't know, about a second, 2 seconds. I'll put a timer here so you can know approximately when to lock on again. So, yeah, make sure you don't lock on too late. And here you can see how the combo is about to work. It's gonna work perfectly. Let's get this bread, bro. It's gonna work. Oh. What the fuck? Yeah, this is the WTF issue from the Moist combo. It's the same exact thing. This can happen sometimes. I don't know how it happens precisely, but if this happens, no matter what you do, you can deactivate your Sin DT, you can activate it. The only way to, get rid of this is to basically call the Doppelganger again. So you summon the Doppel again, and that will get rid of this glitch. But it is so goofy. Imagine doing the combo perfectly, only for this to happen. That's gotta be incredibly annoying. And that's exactly what happened here. And that's the same thing that happened with the Moist combo once. And I dubbed this the WTF issue. So, yeah. Oh, man. And here you can see a couple of technically successful attempts. Like, these are all technically successful, but I just didn't like them. Either the camera angle was bad, or the enemy was on the ground before the last hit of Mirage Edge Combo B, or something about it was just icky, right? And I didn't like it. Usually it had to do with the camera, so yeah. But there are a lot of, there are a lot of these examples that you can see here, so yeah. Also, remember how I said how using the heavy rain blades would basically obviate the need to just mash the Mirage blade button at the enemy to prevent them from falling to the ground? Yeah, well, it seems like this isn't a very good alternative, and you can see here how I did it successfully in this one instance, but 9 times out of 10, if I use the heavy rain blades instead of simply mashing the right mouse button, or well, mashing the Mirage blade button at the enemy, what's going to happen 9 times out of 10 is Vergil will somehow hit the enemy with the Mirage Edge combo. And this will just cause the enemy to fall to the ground. I don't know how to explain it. Like, you won't make contact with the enemy if you just mash the Mirage Blade button. But if you use the Heavy Rain Blades, somehow it seems like the enemy doesn't gain enough distance. I don't know, man. And from my personal experience, I simply wouldn't recommend it. So, yeah. And look at this. In some of these instances, I think there are 3 recorded instances, you can see how the Doppelganger's, like, slash barrage with Yamato combo C doesn't even touch the enemy. So the Doppelganger doesn't make contact with the enemy. And at first I was like, why does this only happen when I use the Heavy Rain Blades? How does it never happen when I just mash the Mirage Blade button, you know, when I mash the right mouse button? Well, it turns out, if you look very closely, you'll notice that Vergil's Doppelganger is actually facing backwards. And he is actually hitting, like, from behind himself. You know what I mean? This happens when you basically press forward plus attack button, right? So if you're facing the screen like this and you press forward plus attack button, that's when you will basically turn around like Vergil's Doppelganger does here. And I was like, why does this happen? Well, it definitely happens because this is the delayed version of the Doppelganger. He's slow, and he registers these inputs later. And when you press back plus forward plus Mirage Blade button, or well, S plus W plus right mouse button to use the Heavy Rain Blades, it's very likely that the Doppelganger registers that forward, and he goes forward, and he actually hits from behind himself. In doing so, he gains distance from the enemy, and then when he comes back, you know, the slash barrage doesn't hit the enemy. This is why I wouldn't recommend using the Heavy Rain Blades to freeze the enemy into time. Just mash the Mirage Blade button, bro. Actually, feel free to disregard everything I just said. As you can see on the screen, this is not the reason this happens, because I press back plus forward plus Mirage Blade button to use the Heavy Rain Blades, but the reason the Doppelganger faces backwards is because, for whatever godforsaken reason, I press and hold forward after using the Heavy Rain Blades. I have no idea why I did that, but I did that every single time. Wow. And that's about all I have to say regarding the sewer combo. Like I said, this is the last combo that I decided to analyze, and the reason for that is very simple. It's not the most difficult combo, like compared to the pit combo or the heaven combo or the void combo. It's not excruciatingly difficult to do, but it is kind of tantalizing to explain. But the main issue is that it's mostly muscle memory. And even if you got the muscle memory, I just can't tell you how to do this. Like, you really gotta have a knack for it. But my advice to you would be to pay attention to the Doppelganger rather than Vergil. So focus on the Doppelganger and make sure you're not mashing the attack button too many times. Make sure you change the Doppelganger's mode in time. Make sure that he doesn't do Yamato combo A. Make sure he doesn't reset Yamato combo C. So, yeah, that's about all I have to say. I will make another video where I will basically... It's going to be an epilogue to this whole, you know, Vergil combo journey, this combo analysis journey, where I will simply address a lot of things and talk more in depth about this whole journey that has spanned 2 years. So, yeah. So enjoy this compilation of perfect Doppel segments. See ya and peace out.
Cut.